property price is so high now and you still want to buy? Are you sure? Okay, my name is Joe and welcome to my channel. Okay, so today I'm going to cover 4 things that actually you need to know about property investment. So do still stay tuned to the end so that I can share with you all these pointers. Okay, so many a times, okay, buyer like to ask me this question. Now, first of all, is now still can invest or not? Property price so high, and then if can invest, they like to ask which one is ideal for investment, resale or new launch. And then sometimes they will tell me they want own stay and yet they want to have growth, potential growth. Okay, so today what I'm covering is 4 things that you need to know about property investment. So when we talk about property investment, okay, in order actually to make a proper and sound decision, okay, we mustn't let our emotion actually overtake our thinking. Okay, so in most cases, if we are talking about own stay property, means to say there will be emotion placed into it. Nothing wrong. However, that could affect your decision when it comes to making a decision. Okay, that could be affect you emotionally, because as long as there's the own stay element, then you know in property, okay, there is no forever winner. Okay, there is people who make money, there must be people who lose money. Because if we are speaking about even the price going up, okay, there will still be people who need to pay for what you have earned. Okay, so that's why there's always people who make money and people who lose money. So in general, if you ask me, my personal take is people who buy a property with lesser emotion in place, meaning to say they buy purely based on the facts and figures. I think the chance of them making money or making a more logical decision will be there versus a person who buy based on emotion. Okay, when we speak about emotion, it refers to, for example, you go in, then you want a beautiful view. Okay, so let's use an example. Is if we talk about a brand new development. Okay, brand new development, then you go in, you wanted to buy a unit with an unblock facing, with a landed view, with a pool view. So most of you should have known that all these units comes with a price premium. Okay, it doesn't mean they won't make money. It's just that we need to study carefully whether the figure makes sense or not. Okay, so there is no hard rule about this, but end day is if you're buying for own stay, of course emotion in place. If you stay already, you feel happy, you might not make as much money or you might lose money. So are you able to accept that? Versus when it comes to investment, when you are able to put every emotion aside just purely to look at facts and figures, would that make a difference now? I mean, you got to think about it, because these two are on the one is on the north and one is on the south side, so they are totally 2 different things. Okay, so first thing first, okay, we probably need to in case you are not familiar, there's this thing called a URA website in Singapore. Okay, inside, okay, what we can do, okay, you can Google on your own, is we can actually look out for a kind of urban transformation that is going to happen in that particular area. Okay, so some of the more notable transformation would be like Jurong Lake District, Graydon Southern Waterfall, Punggol Digital District, as well as the Woodland Regional Centre. Okay, so one of the example I can quote to you is during the master plan in the 2019, under the Bishan Master Plan 2019, you notice that actually there's a lot of those blue color thing in the master plan. So what does the blue color means? Blue color means potentially they can build commercial, or some of them is actually commercial together with residential. So you got to look carefully what is the thing. Okay, why is commercial important elements? Okay, is being commercial will bring actually more workplace to the area. Okay, because if there's an area that is purely residential, it doesn't mean it's no good, but it's just that with more blue color means more commercial, potentially there could be more office there, more shopping place there. So all these are factors that could potentially actually brings out a value of a place, because end day people want convenience. Okay, so we need to think is when you want to sell the place, okay, the person who buy from you, okay, the person who buy from you actually want that convenience. Okay, so are we actually ready to actually look into that further? Okay, so if for okay, so the next pointer, okay, if we talk about capital appreciation and rental prospect, okay, definitely in terms of capital appreciation is who is your future target audience. Okay, who is your future target audience? Okay, you must look into it in the manner whether that place is a place that people want to stay in or not. Okay, you yourself will need to study in. For example, now it could be a very ulu place. Okay, for example, now we talk about a very huge and upcoming town which is known as the Tengah Estate. So Tengah Estate at this moment is nothing. Okay, however, people who wanted to buy there will need to really study the master plan, etc., everything, so that they will know what kind of things is there in the future and how long will the transformation itself take. Okay, and if you talk about rental prospect, because when it comes to investment, there's two types of things that we look at. It's either capital appreciation or rental yield. Okay, so we need to see whether this place will it be popular among the tenants or not. Why is it a very important element that tenant must like it? Reason being is there is always up down market. Okay, so you notice that some of the properties during every type of market, regardless of it's oversupply, undersupply, they can rent out easily. Okay, but some of the property you will notice that during a down market, probably when there is a lot of supply, then every landlord will be trying to fight for tenants. Okay, but there will be some kind of properties which always is popular with tenant one, meaning to say that the occupancy rate is very low. Because as a landlord, you got to be aware that each month your property go without rental, you are paying for yourself. So that's why actually this is very important element for an investor as well. Okay, so if you look at okay, I don't have a chart that I'm going to show you, but personally I don't script my video. Okay, so I'm not going to flash any chart for you, but y'all can take a look at the past transaction of the Jurong East in terms of the resale price, in terms of the rental volume. Then you will notice that during all this transformation that happens in Jurong, you know, right, Jurong got so many malls like the Westgate, like the Jenks, like the Big Box, IMN, etc. So all these things are things that actually bring in more activities, more life to that. Because be it you're the owner, you're the tenant, you will, most people would like to stay in a place that is convenient. Of course, there's people who like to stay in a very quiet place. Now we talk about majority of the people out there want convenience. So all these things actually bring a lot of convenience to the people who stay there. And again, why all this convenience is important is because it's going to hit their emotion when it comes to buying. Imagine today you're going to buy a property. I tell you, there's a mall below you, there's a coffee shop below you, there's a shopping center below you, there's an MRT below you. Will you be swayed by the price, putting aside even you have to pay a higher price? Will you be willing to pay for it, for the convenience? I mean, you got to think about it. Okay, so in terms of future audience, targeting audience, okay, we need to understand lately or probably last year, I think MOE tweaked the ruling which doesn't give the alumni the priority of primary school enrollment anymore. So you will notice that units that are near to good primary school, okay, based on my own research, I think government already stopped giving the popular so-called the top school in Singapore, because I think they are trying to not so-called having any discrimination against any school. Okay, so there's no reference from the government. If you want reference, what you can do is you can join I think it's called, is it a Sassy Mummy, or I forgot what side it is, but of course those are by voters' choice. That means to say they have different popularity in terms of the school selection. Okay, so of course there is those top 20 school, top 30 school. So having a unit near those schools, okay, could potentially maintain or even push up your value, because you know most parents are kiasu, so they will want their children to study in good school. Nothing wrong. I think for me, I have 2 kids. Okay, still got a few years to go. So of course at this point of time I also thinking what school that actually I wanted to place him at. Okay, so all these things our parents will think of. So you all need to think about target audience now. So that's why buying a property near good school does command potential growth in the future, or at least they maintain a value. Okay, because importantly is so that they can sustain any fall when the market actually goes down. Okay, and of course the last point, the number 4th point, okay, real estate investment is a long-term investment gain. Okay, if you notice there has been various and a lot of cooling measures, okay, that stop you from actually speculating. Okay, for example, the seller stamp duty, there's a 3 years thing that made you can't sell within 3 years. Of course, if you want to sell within 3 years, you got to pay tax lah. Then you notice that most of the buyer nowadays have more selling power. Okay, sorry, more holding power. Okay, so holding power means they also won't anyhow let go. So you yourself must think, okay, do you have a holding power of at least 3 to 5 years? So in case the market turn downwards, which is not towards your favor, at least you have the option to hold them, rather than having to throw off the property at a fire sales, etc. So in today's context, you will notice that we don't see as much fire sales as before 2013. Of course, now I'm not going to talk about cooling measures. I have a video on cooling measures. Perhaps you all can also look for that as well to understand about the cooling measures. Okay, so holding power is very essential so that at least, okay, you won't fall into a situation where you are forced to sell low because you have no options. Okay, we want to have that options to hold it. Okay, so all form of investment comes with risk. So I would say that with a proper planning, okay, we can actually largely reduce all these risks. Okay, do speak to your agents, or you can look for me, and I can actually help you to actually work out your portfolio to decide how should we actually go about it. And thank you for tuning into my channel. Okay, before you leave, please help me to do a subscription, click the subscribe over there. And thank you, and bye bye.